Well, she has been dubbed the Asian Oprah, and she just wants all of us to be happy.
Dr. Marissa, aka the Asian Oprah, says the most important thing you can choose is choosing to be happy.
You are tuned into my weekly talk radio TV show called Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get balanced with Dr. Marissa.
That's the idea for Dr. Marissa Pay's new book called 8 Ways to Be Happy.
Many of us say, I am my own worst critic. Nobody's harder on me than I am. And my response to that is, stop it! Why are you doing that to yourself? You have to be your biggest fan, because if you can't at the end of the day say, I did a good job, who is? We don't have to constantly be angry at the things that are wrong. Why don't we choose to be happy about things that are right? We have the choice. That's our muscle. And life is so amazing if we can see it.
Alrighty, it's Get Happy Hour every last Friday of the month, and I am here for you. So I don't see anybody here yet, but I am going to, let's see, do this promo because I am actually going to be teaching tomorrow. I haven't had a chance to put that promo on, but now's a good time to do it. Welcome to Balanced Tai Chi Go. My name is Dr. Marissa Pay. For the next 28 minutes, we will be slow dancing with the universe in a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. Just follow the sound of my voice and move with me as I guide you through this ancient wisdom through New Thought practice. As a corporate psychologist, I created this practice in response to my life and those of my clients. We were professional, high achievement-oriented, multitasking control freaks and exhausted. No matter how many successes, it was never enough. That, coupled with a painful life experience, led me on a quest to find another way to live and back to my Chinese roots. If you practice regularly, I can promise you that it will impact all health vortexes. Body, mind, spirit, soul. You will be in a place of balance and inner peace the way we were created. 谢谢. Be my partner, dance with me, just hold on, I will. All right. I see eyeballs rolling in. It is Get Happy Hour every last Friday of the month. And if you'd like to come in studio with me, just put it in the chat. I'll give you the link and we can have some fun. Last month, we had Michelle come in and ask questions about writing a book. So this is your hour to do and talk about anything you want, whether it's you want to start a podcast or write a book, or if you want to be happier than you are right now, then this is your time and you can ask any question you want. And I will just do stuff here that I don't normally do on the show. And yeah, just have some fun. We're just starting out this thing. I was doing it on my website, and that was great. And someone said to me, can you expand it to your social family? And I said, I will. And this week has been a little crazy on trying to get the word out. So we're just, having some fun and doing what we want and having the freedom to, I don't have FCC rules on this particular broadcast, so we can pretty much say anything. I mean, not anything, but it is less restrictive. So any topic you want, I'm going to share a little trailer. Is this of my new short film? If you haven't seen it yet, it is called PPP Post-Pandemic Possibility. This is just the trailer, a couple minutes as we give people time to grab their dinner and come on in. What if conforming to the world was exploring the world? What if the question, what do you want to be when you grow up, little girl, turns into how many streets of life do you want to explore? What if the purpose of life is not to die with the most toys to leave our squabbling relatives? What if the purpose of life was to do things that we enjoy most of the time? Have relationships that we enjoy most of the time? And use our unique talents, gifts, and abilities to fully express in the dash between birth and death? What if, as a direct result of this horrible pandemic, we could rise out of the ashes with a new PPP, post-pandemic possibilities? The sooner you turn "it's impossible" to "I'm possible," the what ifs become possible too. Because you are loving, lovable, and loved, wrapped in a warm blanket of worthiness. But it may start with getting out of bed and making it. What if starts with All right, and I'm gonna fix my happy hour drink while you get your dinner and whatever you're bringing here to share. It's gonna end up being like a cooking show of some kind. This is definitely a mixing show. And I had several people sign up. So we'll see if they show up or if they got a better offer for a Friday night. I should ping some. I didn't tell some of my friends who have been trying to get time with me. So I wonder if there's a way to invite friends. Oh, that's good. This is aloe vera, a little bit of orange juice, and sparkling lemon. So I don't know if you know, I have not had a drink in 14 years. So I have very creative, non-alcoholic drinks. And this is a really good one. What are you drinking? This is my once a month, last Friday of the month, get happy hour. Just hanging out, having some fun with my social friends. And anyone who has wanted free advice that I sometimes use. That's also the thing for this. Yay, I got a finger. Someone just gave me the finger. This finger, thumbs up. And I would love to know who you are. So write in the chat. And if you want to actually come in studio, this is my normal studio for the show in the morning. Just let me know in the chat and I will send you a virtual studio link so you can come in studio with me. Or if you want to be off camera, you can just put your name and any question or comment in the chat. And you can see whose eyeballs are here. Question mark. Love y'all all. And we can, let's see, what should we talk about? I want to, let's see. I honestly, I am wiped out. I didn't, but I promised, that I would do this once a month on Fridays, last Friday of the month. Tomorrow, if you are living anywhere near Southern California, I'm going to teach my Tai Chi in the morning, and I'm going to do a promo on that after this. So I just got back from Toronto. Some of you know my mom has Parkinson's and is in palliative care. And so I've been going back every quarter for a couple of weeks to try to take care of some of the dentist stuff and doctor stuff. And it's not easy. Aging sucks. And the Parkinson's doesn't help as well, but it's good to go back to Canada, where I was born, and visit with my great nieces and nephews and have a little fun, and then for the most part spend time with my mom. So that is what we are here to just, how are you doing? What's going on with y'all? What's working? What's not working? I think my promo said, how you doing on flight 2023? This new journey post-COVID, getting back into the swing or not of things, depending on where you are in career, job. I know there's like huge influx of entrepreneurs. Fry TV. Fry TV is an active show supporter and contributor. Although I haven't seen you all week, I'm assuming you're busy, but I'm glad you're here now. Why do you call yourself Friday TV? I wanted to ask you, but that wasn't a question for this show. And did you find me on YouTube, or do I know you from Agape or one of the places I spoke at for the motivational speaking? This is a great time to find out how we know each other. Oh, been very busy at work. That's what I figured. That's okay. You do have to work. I'm not gonna be mad at that. I'm glad that you can be with me when you can in the morning, 8 to 9. A lot of you know that I just celebrated show 900 on Friday. No, not this last Friday, but the Friday before was show 900. So it's unbelievable to me how time flies. Oh, we've got more eyeballs coming in. That's good. Identify yourself if you want to come in studio. I will give you the link. Fry TV. Let's see. Okay, are you live on KCA? No, this is not my time slot. This is just a once a month Get Happy Hour. It's a free hour of connection. A lot of people ask me for time, and outside of the show, it's tough. So I have a lot of time scheduled for professional coaching or consulting or motivational speaking. But once a month on Fridays at 7, I open this studio up for anyone to ask questions. Last month, we had someone come on and ask about writing a book, because y'all know I have this #1 best-selling book called 8 Ways to Happiness from Wherever You Are. And it is also a national bestseller on Denver Post So I got number 4 in Denver Post, number 1 on Amazon, and a bunch of medals and blah, blah, blah. And so I answer questions for anybody who's ever wanted to write a book. I also give one of these for free to anyone who registers for this particular once a month orientation. You just go to drmarissa.life, and then you get a free audiobook version of the book. So if you want that and you haven't registered, go to drmarissa.life and just go to that, scroll to the bottom for the happy hour. And if you don't feel like doing that, just say, I would like an audiobook, and give me your email address, and then I'll send you the promo code for a free one. Okay. So that's why. And I don't know who's on Fry TV right now on KCAA, but I'm gathering that that is how you found me. And that's great. I am on NBC News Radio every single morning at 8 a.m., which is my regular slot. And I've been doing that since COVID. I actually was only once a week. If you want to know the history of this almost 11-year show, I was on UBN Radio. They got cameras in the studio, so it became radio TV. And then I started broadcasting there and NBC News Radio with KCAA about 3 years, I think, into the 2012, May 1st is when I started. And then after 5 years doing both, something's got to give. So I left UBN to come full-time at KCAA and got better and better slots until I landed on the coveted slot of Friday drive time at 3 or 4, I can't remember now. And that was still once a week. And then Fred Lundgren, the CEO and owner of the station, is in Texas. He contacted me during when COVID first started and said, how would you like to take over the morning show? And that's how I got into the 8 a.m. slot. And I wasn't quite thinking, Fry, how going from once a week for 9.5 years to going to 5 times a week. And that was a lot. It was a lot different. So I almost drowned myself the first month trying to do everything every day. And then I settled in and realized that I could do things a little easier. And one of the things that I've been doing is getting new co-hosts. So that definitely helps. Let's see. Fry saying, cool. Yes, I know you very well. LOL. Don't say my name, but I have helped you with tech stuff back in the day. Oh, I think I know who you are. And let's see. Don't say my name. Helped you with tech stuff back in the day. And I have your number in my cell. Okay. Okay, I'm not going to say your name, but now I know who you are. And thank you for all the help you have given me in the past. I wonder whose time slot it is. I hope it's not somebody that I will get in trouble with for competing. But anyways, so Fry, anything you want to ask? Anything that you are frustrated with? People ask me questions on this Get Happy Hour, things that are, keep them from getting a good night's sleep, or things that drive them crazy, or how to feel better about life when there's a lot of things that are uncontrollable, or people who drive them crazy. So any of that is open for discussion. Thanks for joining. I see more eyeballs marching in. Well, this is a little experiment. I was doing this out of my website for anyone who wanted some happiness coaching for free on every last Friday of the month. and it got popular. So people asked if I would bring it to social media. So that's what I'm doing, if you're wondering. And we're having some libations. This is non-alcoholic because I'm naturally high. And this is a combo of lemon seltzer, orange juice, and aloe. So if you want to try that, it's a super refreshing drink. I've turned a lot of drinkers onto it, and they actually enjoy it. Here's two. Let's see. Here's two more, and let's set some desire intentions. So this is a Friday night. If you're not out for whatever reason, you can use this time with me to set an intention for more what? What do you want more of in your life? What is it that you want to see more of? Is it money? A lot of people say money. A loving relationship or an intimate relationship. A lot of people say that. A better job or career. A lot of people say that. Kids, if they don't have kids, if they want that. They want everybody who is depending on them to be happy. Or I know I just came back from Canada. My mom's palliative care and Parkinson's. So obviously I would like better health for her. I have a bonus mom and dad who are 93 now. Yikes. Yeah, 93 and 90. So I definitely want them to have good health. So here's the thing though. Peter Senge has a circle of concern and a circle of influence. So I do this when I do organizational psychology or business consulting, and I draw two circles. This is also in the book. If you want an audiobook copy, Happy Hour includes a free copy of that. Just put your email in there and I'll get you a promo code. But it is really easy to be unhappy if you want other people, like if you're happy, I'm happy. I hear that all the time. If you're happy, I'm happy. And the problem with that is it's very difficult to make other people happy. I know people say, I'll be happy if you do this. I'll be happy if you don't do this. I'll be happy if you say this. I'll be happy when you don't say that. And the problem with that is a lot of the time people change their mind on that. Or if I know I used to do this. I will say, I used to say to my husband, how do I look? And he'll say, you look beautiful. And then I would say, it doesn't count if you say that because I asked for it. It would be, why can't you tell me I look beautiful before I asked for it? So he was damned if he did and damned if he didn't. And that's one of the traps of unhappiness is if you are hooked into other people for happiness so that you can be happy, because you really cannot ultimately control someone else's feelings about you. You think you can by how you're acting, but everybody is the own master of their ship, is the own creator of their happiness. And it is crazy making to try to find happiness solely in making someone else happy. And that's actually the definition of codependency. For those of you who are like me, grew up with childhood trauma. 7 out of 10 of us have. It's a very common thing. When you were a kid and you were hurt, then you learned how to please other people, because usually when you please other people, you are less hurt than you normally are. So you learn how to walk on eggshells. You learn how to, be funny, to make people laugh, or to be a yes girl or a people pleaser, or whatever it is, to try to make someone else happy. And then you can say you are happy. That is an unfortunate habit that a lot of people have. And then if the relationship doesn't work, they look for another person to make happy, and so on and so forth. And it's a pretty ugly, futile, and insecure, loveless life. And I don't want that for you. I want a happy 88 mission. I want you to be happy 88% of the time. So I bring up the circle of concern and circle of influence to show that no matter what things you like and no matter what things you're concerned about, the only real person that you have full influence on happiness is, guess who? Yep, the buck stops right over here. So my work is all about, how do you find happiness, or how do you choose happiness when everything else around you is falling apart? So let me go to the chat. Let's see. We've got, I'll bring my Fry family over soon. I have over 176 or 17,000 subscribers on YouTube now. That's wonderful. Congratulations. I have not many subscribers, but I do have 287,000 views, which I'm happy about. So, yes, real love. Let's see. Oh, you're in a very bad storm. Your ship is in a very bad storm. Okay. So there is a victim, volunteer with some wanting to up level their happiness. All right. And yes, my childhood was not good at all. Okay. So if you are identifying with Fry TV right now, you're in the right place. I am a specialist on childhood trauma because I went through it myself. For those of you who have not read my book, I was, I was told I was fat, ugly, and clumsy my whole bringing up. And I was also physically abused to the point of being put in a hospital when I was a kid. And I was told when I was 18 that it was not my imagination. And so I was told that it was so bad that someone had to be put in a mental health facility. So it was not fun. And I spent so many years being mad at that, oscillating from being really pissed off about that and how could a parent do that, and it's not fair, and what did I do wrong, and I can't have done anything wrong, and how can people treat you? This is not the way you're supposed to be raised. And then the other extreme of well, that's in the past, it happened, and I can't change it, so screw it. I don't want to deal with it, I don't want to talk about it, and let's just live my life and pull myself up by my bootstraps. And that didn't work either, because it's true. They say what you do not deal with will come back and deal with you. And some of the habits that you have when you have bad childhoods are, you have a tendency to try to fix that by attracting and finding people who are difficult to please, to recreate the angst and the yearning and the displeasure and the sadness and the loneliness and the mess that you grew up with, because that's what you're familiar with. And that's from psychology and research and all of that stuff. And so that's why people go to therapy. Now, what I've discovered is if you keep going and cycling through all of that pain from childhood, you're just keeping it in your life. You are not healing from it. You keep going to the tractor for milk. You keep focusing on how you were wronged. You're focused with righteous indignation, and you get more and more pissed off. And that does not make for a very good life, because you're continuing to repeat the patterns, and you drag your past pain into your present, and you spew it onto your future. And let me give you a couple of symptoms. And I meet a lot of my clients who come to me in midlife opportunity. I don't call it midlife crisis, but if you find yourself with people and still desperately feeling alone and lonely, if you are a perfectionist and you try to control everything, that's a symptom. That's a coping mechanism for past trauma. If you are, you don't like looking at yourself because most of the time you don't like what you see. No matter how many compliments you get, if you get one criticism, your mind goes to that criticism. That's very likely that you are stuffing down your bad childhood and you haven't dealt with it. If you cry and can't stop crying, that's usually a symptom. If you are frozen from making decisions and you know you need to make decisions, that's another common symptom of not having dealt with the crap. And let's see, doing things that you know are not good for you, but you do them anyways because you can't help yourself. Having superficial friends, having no friends, having a lot of friends that are not really, they're drinking buddies maybe, or they're recreational drug buddies, but there's really no full connection, because every time someone gets really close, you're out of there. Or every time there's a little bit of conflict, you're out of there. That's also very common for people who have not addressed or dealt with past pain. Addiction is a perfect way to stop feeling bad, because you numb out. So if you know you shouldn't smoke, or know you shouldn't drink as much as you do, or know you shouldn't gamble or shop or swear, or whatever it is that you do and you know you shouldn't do it, that's very highly likely that you are not operating from your best self. You're still operating from someone who got hurt really bad and have learned coping mechanisms that aren't working for them. So that's usually the assessment. I do 18 questions. I did a lot of them just now. And if you nodded your head or could identify with at least a handful of them, let's see. Okay. If good job, Fry, you were keeping track, and you have admitted that you have a lot of those coping devices. So that's great, because self-awareness is a skill. And if you can acknowledge that, and you can be honest with that, that is the first step. Definitely the first step. So congratulations, and thank you for being honest about that. Let's give you a little applause. Okay, so now what? When you realize that you are sabotaging yourself, because that's basically people who have had something bad done to them. And this could be not just physical or verbal abuse, neglect, abandonment, betrayal. anything that is not something that you would have wanted to have happen to you. And basically, it is the majority of us. So I want to just bust one BS right now, some belief system that happens when you have had that kind of trauma in the past, in your childhood. It even could be being, your first true love betrayed you, cheated on you. I know a lot of kids who, had a very healthy life and had great parents, and somehow they still ended up either being bullied at school or molested by a priest, or had that first relationship as a young teenager that broke their heart, and those traumas got them on a path of less than helpful coping mechanisms. All right. So this is like way beyond what just, childhood trauma from your family, so to speak. Okay. So you don't drink at all now, and you've not smoked in 30 years. So I'm with you on that. I've not smoked since 1996. That was a long time ago, 27 years. So you beat me on that one. I have not had a drink in 14 years. I'm naturally high. And I know that it's great that you've done that. And certainly that is a testament to say that you're not numbing yourself with those things. But, and I'm not saying that you are doing this, but some of the symptoms, even if you've got that under control, if you are a person who's constantly busy, who's constantly moving from one thing to another, who is constantly in conflictual relationships, if you have a feeling that you're not worthy, deep down you don't even want to be people who have a hard time meditating. Sometimes it's because that when they're quiet, all those voices start coming up in their head, and it's impossible to just sit with yourself, because all those feelings of unworthiness, or that you don't deserve a good life, or you don't deserve whatever it is that you want, those begin to, start populating in your head. Another way that we act out or have bad coping devices is always being right. You have to be right, because if you're wrong, that means it takes you back into when you were in a bad situation in childhood. Because one of the common things that kids that grow up with a lot of trauma is they were punished if they weren't right. And so being right, and nobody likes to be wrong, don't get me wrong. And in school, if you remember in school, the teacher doesn't say who has the wrong answer. The teacher says who has the right answer, and you stick your hand up in the air. So that coping mechanism, though, to always need to be right, because being right means that you're loved and respected and cherished, can really mess up almost every relationship you have, because you're not perfect, but you want to be perfect. And there's nothing worse than a person who's still trying to be perfect, because anytime they screw up, they're their own worst enemy. I'm not harder on anyone else than I am on myself. I'm my worst enemy. I'm my worst critic. And many people who have not dealt with their BS, their belief systems that they were taught and they bring into adulthood, will suffer from that because they'll never feel good enough. For me, I performed, right? I was told you're ugly, you're fat, and you're clumsy. So how am I going to prove them wrong? I'm going to become a model. I'm going to try to win pageants. I'm going to be the youngest person to get this degree and the youngest person to achieve this. And so you can, I have 19 awards. And I will say that up until the 15th one, it was all done to try to get approval because I wanted to prove that voice. It's not even the person who told me that I am fat, ugly, and clumsy. I'm just trying to prove it to everybody who is now the enemy. Oh, that's another good coping device is you think you're an island. You think you can survive as an island and that you don't need anybody. And so you push people away or you do this, come here, and then go away, go away, go away. And it's very difficult to maintain or have a healthy relationship when you have those kinds of coping devices. So it's exhausting because no matter all the things that I have achieved up until I got sober, nothing was ever enough, because even if I succeeded, well, but you didn't do as well as so-and-so, or you got this, but you didn't get that. Or I would have people say to me, "Oh, Dr. Marissa, you're so blah, 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 blah." And I say, "Thank you very much." And then I turn around and in the quiet time, I'd have the imposter syndrome. Oh, they really don't know me because if they knew me, they wouldn't think that. They wouldn't be so, they wouldn't put me on a pedestal. And that pedestal was such a trap, because then I had to perform all the time. I could never let my hair down. I could never be vulnerable. I could never be, truly who I am, which is imperfectly perfect. All right. We have, hi, Ismael Cortez. Nice to see you again as well. Thanks for joining. This is Get Happy Hour with Dr. Marissa every last Friday of the month. And it is, I guess this is one of your friends here. Fry is saying, hey, and Ismail is saying hello to Fry. I love it when there's interaction in the chat. I don't know if Ismail's one of your subscribers, but regardless, welcome. We're talking about how to be happy. We're talking about a population that I'm part of, one of the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma, and how difficult it is to be happy, and some normal coping devices that we use to try to be happy that don't work very well. And I'm on a mission, Happy 88 mission, 88 million more happy people in the next 8 years. And so this is a free hour that I offer every last Friday of the month for you to ask me anything you want and or just connect. Oh, okay. So you don't know him. Okay. He's one of my subscribers. And I appreciate his support. Where did you tell me you were from? I know you told me, Ismail, you were from, tell me again. Sorry. I have photographic memory, but I am all out of disk space and I'm not willing to buy more in the cloud. So, but that's what we're talking about. We can talk about anything. If you want to talk about, if you have a question about how to be a guest on my show, how to start a podcast. I celebrated 900 show podcasts on Friday. How to publish a book, how to be single, single and happy, how to lose weight. I've just dropped 35 pounds in a year. I went on a Love My Body project. I'm on 4.0 now because I wanted to feel good about my body if I start dating again. So no holds barred, whatever you want to talk about. I do not want to talk about religion or politics. Those are the two things that never work out. So outside of that, ask me anything you want. All right. Ismail is in Riverside. Okay, cool. That is so. I think you know me from KCAA and listen to my show in the morning. I know that for sure. And Fry is in Texas. I didn't know you moved to Texas. If you are who I thought you were, but okay, maybe it's not you. Okay. I lived in Carrollton for 3 months, and all I remember are three things. Dueling pianos. There's a bar in North Texas that has dueling pianos, used to. And the second thing is the heat of Dallas. Oh my goodness gracious. I would get out of the car. I was there in I know the worst time, July, August. I was on a project consulting, and I went to the airport, got in a rental car, drove to the location, got out of the car, and I felt like a lion jumped on my skin. It was that hot. I don't think I'd ever felt that kind of heat in my life or ever since. Maybe when I was in Africa. But I wasn't in Africa in July and August because I'm not stupid. So those are my memories of Texas. All right, let's see. What's this? I am acting. Wait. Oh, I'm eating clean now and dropped about 50 pounds. Oh, good. Feel much better. So Fry, you don't smoke, you don't drink, and you're not overeating. So of all those symptoms, let's pick one, and I'll give you we only have 15 minutes left, so I'll give you a Happy 88 tool. We have 10 minutes left. A Happy 88 tool that I want you to work on. So by the last Friday of next month, you can come and you can come and share some success, hopefully, that you've had in breaking one of the habits that we went through. And Ismail, what I did earlier was give common symptoms of people who are dragging their past pain into their present and spewing it onto their future. So I'm asking Fry to give me one that I can give you some tips on how to separate yourself from those habits. And it only takes 30 days. So if you're a person who likes to be right all the time, let's just pick that one for the sake of argument. People who have to be right, usually that tells me that somewhere in their past, to be right meant either less punishment and or more approval or love from people who should have been nicer, maybe were well-meaning, but were more mean than well. So it's a habit that kids pick up to, one, need to be right all the time. And if you're not right, it's humiliating because, the average person, if they're told you're wrong, it's not that big of a deal. You don't like it. It doesn't feel good. But for those of us who've had childhood trauma, to be wrong can almost immediately take us back to that place of devastation as a child, whatever kind of abuse you had. So in order to not go there, there are some ways in which you can help alleviate the intensity and the horribleness of being wrong. Okay, so here we go. One thing that I do is I purposefully make myself comfortable with imperfection. So I will wear a different colored sock. This is all tied to perfectionism as well. And if you're a person who can't be happy unless everything's perfect, then you're probably not happy a lot, because rarely do things go perfectly. You can't control them, and you're not perfect. But I know up until even 10 years ago, if someone would say, nobody's perfect, in the back of my mind, I would still say, but I'm trying. And it's a big setup for a lot of unhappiness. So what I do is, like, I got a manicure today and I messed up one of my toes, or pedicure. And instead of and then running back to get it fixed, I sit with that, and it will be there until my next pedicure. And it's a reminder that it's okay. It's not going to kill me to have something that is not perfect on my body. When I make a mistake, if I double book, which doesn't happen very often, but because I don't have an assistant and I don't necessarily want an assistant, my last assistant told me that if I had one less Starbucks, or if I didn't go to Starbucks, I could pay her more. And that just didn't sit well with me. And I do well working on my own. I know that's oxymoronic, because I tell people they need to have help. But I know myself, and I know that patience is not in my vocabulary. And if that's true, then I'm not real fun to work with or for. So, but where was I? I was, oh yes, the imperfection. So give yourself room to be imperfect. Give yourself some room and practice not being perfect. And it's very uncomfortable. You're not going to want to do it. I have my coaching clients actually say no when people ask them, because here's another thing that a habit that develops in people who have not dealt with their childhood trauma is they are people pleasers. They want to make everybody happy, and they say yes to everything, and then they get overwhelmed and things fall through the cracks because you can't do everything. But they want to do everything, so they say yes to everything, and then they get in trouble. So saying no is also a good thing. Practicing saying no is not saying no all the time, but on little things that you probably don't have time for, or you are enabling people not to learn how to do it themselves by always doing it for them. Those are good things to say no to. And the next time someone gets on your case for making a mistake, the reaction is not an overreaction, because I know I would just like overreact. I hated criticism. I hated feedback. It because I took it as it just cut me down like at the knees, and I was back to the little girl who was told, "You're bad. You're an embarrassment. You're a bad daughter. You are a bad human being. You're worthless. So." No matter what the tiny little bit of feedback or criticism was, it would just create this giant overreaction in me. And so I had to take some ownership and say, okay, to the person giving me feedback, I would not overreact or defend myself, which that's a bad habit. Over defending yourself, giving, throwing the blame back, or giving excuses, or, all of the all of the, reasons why this fell through the cracks. I would look at that person and just say, I am sorry. I should not have told you I could do this. And let me know how I can make it up to you. Now that is to the person, okay? And then, which is eating a little bit of humble pie, not easy, but it's way better than defending yourself. Trust me, because when you start, I would sit up at night and write excuses and letters and try to, excuse myself and try to put things back together. And it was exhausting. To admit that you effed up and learn from it is way more useful for any of us who continue to repeat patterns from our past defending ourselves. Then the second thing is, when I make it right with them, now I got to make it right with me. And that's the harder part, because I would not sleep because I'm just like going over and over like a broken record. How could you have done that? How could you, you're stupid. Everything they said about you was true, and beat up. And then I'd have another voice say, F them. How dare they? All the things that I do for them, and that's my brat. And the other one's my critic. And if you want to work with me or just work through this book, that's part of the healing, is to understand the parts of you that are just like going nutso and making you nutso, and continuing to replay the broken record of what was done to you, bringing it into the present. So the two parts, if you identify and that you're how did you say it, Fry? You said you have a lot of the symptoms of the coping mechanisms. If you have identified, and one of them being needing to be right all the time, then those are the two tips that I would use to come back with. Ishmael, I don't know if you are relating to any of this, or if you have people who who resemble the coping mechanisms that I'm talking about. You might want to, when this link is published, you can pick this up and send it over. I am happy. I do actual happiness coaching on Mondays, not this coming Monday, but most Mondays. So they can always come on the show off camera as well to do that. And then, of course, if you want private with me, I have 2 spots open for private clients right now for happiness coaching or law of attraction coaching. It's all the same, trying to, break those patterns from the past that are, keeping you from being your naturally happy self. So those are some things that you can do. The drmarissa.life shows you a bunch of different possibilities there. Let's see. I think we are 1 minute away from finishing. I never like to go out of the house. I don't like crowds. Okay. Well, that's your isolation, which is normal too. There's a lot of, when you grow up with childhood trauma, there's a lot of potential enemies out there. Paranoia is very common because, you grew up with people who were supposed to be good to you who weren't, so of course you're going to develop fear. And fear, by the way, stands for, I know people know it as false evidence appearing real. My favorite one is future events already ruined. You don't go out, you don't explore and enjoy life because you're afraid that it's going to be just more of the same. Okay. My biggest roadblocks, 52. I've got the big H from my ex-wife. I got the big H from, what's H? From my ex-wife, and I've been on the that H. Okay. So that is a current bad thing that happened to you. And I'm not going to have time to address this whole thing, but I'd be happy to put you on a Monday to work with you on this particular thing. Okay, let's see. So I think at this point, I will not find someone, and I feel trapped in my body at this point. Okay, yeah, you can't throw me this 5 minutes before it's over. So, but I also do private coaching. So you're welcome to come. I think one session I would be able to do some work on this, but I would go to my drmarissa.life and ask and just say happy hour, and I'll send you this. And you can start working through it, because I think it's deeper than herpes. I think that it's more than just your physical limitations, but it's not going to take you 10 years. The best thing about happiness coaching that I offer is 8 weeks, 8 months. That is, the sort of the span in which I work, and you do not have to spend 10 years in therapy. All right. Okie dokie. I am so glad. I still, people who have not identified, thank you for staying and being part of this happy hour, Get Happy Hour. Cheers to you. Thank you, Fry, for participating so fully. And I will look forward to seeing you next month. And let's see. Oh, I got a little love there. Thank you. Back at you. And I know that y'all are going to have the best evening ever. Hopefully you will remember that you are loving, lovable, and loved, wrapped in a warm blanket of worthiness, that you are way more than the crappy feelings you might be having now. And just keep it tuned here. Take my advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa is every weekday morning at 8 on KCAA, the station that leaves no listener behind. And every last Friday. Tomorrow, if you're in Southern California, please do come and join me on the beach. I'm going to be teaching Balanced Tai Chi Gong, a moving meditation that promotes inner peace, one breath at a time. If you're not around here, if you're in Texas, you can actually go donate $20 and get a copy of that from my website. All donations for my children's book and for the Tai Chi go to my 501c 8 Ways to Happiness, which is helps kids, teens, and young adults who have temporarily forgotten their birthright to happiness. All right. Thank you so much. Let's see. Oh, yes, you're still here. Good, I smell. You are welcome. It is my blessing, and love you all as well, Fry. Beautiful. All right. Signing out. See you on Monday morning. Bye.